Good evening, and welcome to another segment of the Black Leadership Coalition here in the studios, the great studios of Intellectual Radio. I am the host tonight, and I am very, very thankful by the Most High for giving me such an honor of opportunities to come before you all over these airwaves that we take very serious. I am so thankful that Almighty God made me the way He did and is still making me, not finished with me yet. A whole lot of room for improvement and growth and development. But in the meantime, I want to say this to all of you all that's tuned in. This is a very serious conversation that we're going to have tonight. So I always want to invoke the spirit of Almighty God in our conversations. We can laugh, we can dance, we could party, we could enjoy ourselves, company, etc. But that does not take us away from the time and what's be done. Not just said, but done. Tonight I'm going to be joined by a couple of guests. I think it's two or three, but Sister Africa Porter, who will probably be walking in the next few seconds, and Brother Roland Davis. Brother Roland from the Bop Center. And I'm going to do a commentary to set the stage for this conversation today. And let me just say this: we should always also invoke in the spirit of our ancestors, because when you talk about leadership, when you talk about being mentored, and you talk about folks who have impacted your life in a positive way, then we all rest on the shoulders. We stand on the shoulders of our ancestors. So many of them, many that none of us have ever heard of, don't know their names, etc. But they did some mighty, mighty work to get to where we are. So they are welcome. Tell them to come on in. Come on in. We getting started. Come on in. You know, so at the end of the day, it's very, very important that we never forget about our ancestors, and that we stand on that truth, that work, and all of that they have fought for. So we didn't come this far to give up now, but we got to make some things very clear. Clarity is what we need. And let me remind you all before I do this commentary and the guests walk in, on October the 27th, from 1:30 to 4:30 at the Prince Hall Lodge, Mason Lodge, at 809 East 40, is that 42nd place. The New Black Leadership is hosting our quarterly roundtable. And this one is called Accountability, holding those who are running for mayor, for governor, for alderman, for wherever. But this one is on the mayoral race, accountable. And I'm going to talk about what is accountability. What is that? It's very, very, very important to establish that. So many of you all know that we have folks in our community that some call themselves Republicans, some call themselves Democrats, some say that they're libertarian, some say they have no affiliation, they just vote out in space, and some don't vote. And you might say, well, that's unwise because how are they going to change things if they're not part of the political system? I'll get to that. But we have people that fall out over politics. And you might decide that you supporting this particular person, this particular party, etc. And that's your right to. We can agree to disagree. And that's why, on October the 27th, we don't always agree on everything, but there are basic principles. There's basic strategies that we must establish and be on one accord. You can do your things in your silo as far as representing your company, your brand, yourself. But as a coalition, we have to be disciplined, disciplined, disciplined to know that our unity is more powerful than an atomic nuclear bomb. I'm going to get to the Kanye West piece because I want to make something perfectly clear. I'm going to get to the Trump piece. I'm going to get to the piece with our brother Roland Davis got beat up on social media because he had a meeting last week with Mr. Governor Bruce Rauner. Brought him on 79th Street in the so-called hood. And I think they had a tour over to the Regal Theater. And so some of his friends, colleagues, buddies, homies, even those who have been in business with him, they didn't dig that. They were very bothered and upset. And that's why, brother, and Roland, if you listening, we're waiting on you to come in because it's about not defending Roland, not defending Kanye West, but it's defending principles. And so that's why in my commentary, Sister Africa, it's good to see you.
Hey, what's happening?
Oh, it's always great to see a beautiful, black, shiny queen, always standing tall. But that's why, and this sister is absolutely a unifier. I mean, she travels in all kind of camps and she listens and embraces our people from top to bottom. I got to find out what your secret is and what you're working on. Because some people, they don't come into the room with certain people that you're in the room with.
That's real.
Which is deep. But folks, I gotta say to Sister Africa, this is a real deep conversation. So I'm setting it up in such a way where healing takes place. But this healing is for real. And I'm not, if you let your little petty differences, Minister Michael, thank you. The founder, New Black, thank you. Co-members, of the New Black Leadership. Why? Because Minister Mike have taught me something.
Absolutely.
A little younger than me. What that got anything to do with?
Absolutely.
But when it comes to patience with Negroes, oh my God, Mike, I don't know how you do it. Because I'm telling you, it's serious. And we got all these social media leaders. Social media leaders scared to come in the room to sit with their brothers and their sisters, but yet you go get a mic. You get a lot of hits on YouTube and Facebook, but brother and sister, you got to show your butt up. See, I'm going to call a spade a spade. We ain't sugarcoating nothing tonight. We ain't going to water it down. I mean, we are uncompromising, unapologetic. And at the end of the day, see, you all that really, Mike, thank you for humbling yourself, because I'm trying to tell you all something. You're going to miss the boat. You don't know who God chooses to bring his throne in. You don't know that.
That's right.
And so when somebody's trying to teach you the method, we've been struggling for unity forever. W.E. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington weren't on the same page.
That's right.
The Honorable Marcus Garvey. I mean, the list, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm, Dr. King, etc., etc. All of them. Come on in, Roland. All of them were not on the same page. They weren't on the same page. Come on in, brother. Jump in. This is quick moving, fast moving, quick thinking, fast moving, right down to the modern time.
Right.
And that's why if you don't understand what time it is, you're not going to fix what's wrong. This ain't about star power. This is about having the courage to speak truth to power. Y'all got y'all Facebook Live going?
Yeah.
Or y'all can just share the one here on your page. So, Brother Roland, great to see you, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have about a good 40 minutes or less to really bring this conversation raw and real.
That's right.
I don't want no sugarcoat. So I'm saying to the people, and I said before you walked in here, there are people mad at Kanye West. There are people mad at Roland. There's people mad at all of us for taking certain positions. So let me just say this, and you all can jump in. I want to say this to the unwise hypocrites. You can stay a Democrat, but boy, you better know the history of that party. Yeah, they've changed some things here and there. But let me tell you, for years, Democrats, see, I'm not going, what bite is more vicious, the fox or the wolf? You like the one that sneaks up on you. I'd rather hear the ones that's growling, knowing that he want to bite me, because maybe I got an opportunity to get away. But you all choose as folks, like summertime you choose, I mean, I don't want to say that, but anyhow, you got to be a hypocrite. For 8 years. Brother Barack Obama, who did he invite into the White House to deal with issues that pertain to black people?
That's right.
Did they talk about reparations with a black man? Y'all gave him a pass. Y'all gave Barack a pass. Love him, respect him, but Lord have mercy, we did not get much from that. You can say what you want to say, but the facts are the facts. So Kanye West did sit in with Donald Trump. Yeah, he did. Close that door. But yet, at the end of the day, what did he ask for? What did he ask for? Are you, and his antics is one thing. The man is an entertainer. But you missing in action. There's a void. There's a vacuum. There's a void and a vacuum. So, Roland, you brought the governor on 79th Street. I read the posts. I read them, and they were in balance. So what? You can bring whoever you want in, but don't you get to the table and you only worry about yourself. You only worry about a bag for yourself, a check for yourself. You ain't there for the interests of black people, poor people. You just want an extra check before you die, I guess. How you gonna sell your damn soul for nothing? Zero. We got a lot of people in this studio. Roland brought some help.
That's right.
And we done knocked down we didn't move the whole thing around. Earl, y'all didn't move the whole thing. So we probably gonna have to rotate some folks because we got some folks in here. I want you all to quickly introduce yourself, and then we're gonna get right into more of this conversation. We have my sister and my friend, beloved Africa.
That's right.
And I want you all to speak and project in the mic. This thing is too hot to be up here trying to sound cool and laid back. That's why you get beat up. And sometimes you got to roar. like a lion. Stop talking like a pussycat, because this ain't pussycat season. And if you ain't got no courage, then stay at home, because we got enough fakes in the community that want to be cute, while our people are suffering and dying. And some of you Negroes, y'all go and y'all follow behind certain politicians for your own self. You ain't doing it for black liberation.
That's right.
You doing it for your own prosperity.
Absolutely.
So go ahead, sister. You introduce yourself, Africa. If I missed something that you're doing, rolling, the sister, y'all go ahead.
Peace, family. I am Sister Africa Porter. That's Africa with a K. Of Africa Enterprises, consulting and public relations. We work around bringing out the best in us. As Dr. Anderson Thompson taught at the Center for Inner City Studies, we have to always be pushing what's right about us. So my company was built on the premise of that. I come from very, very honest and very civilized, if you will, and just conscious Black parents, liberators and fighters, Dr. June and John Porter, who I'm just honored to have come through. Because without them, I wouldn't know what I know. I wouldn't be able to move the way I move. I watched them back in the day as a child in Inglewood make a lot of things happen, to the point where even though my dad was a Methodist minister, he allowed the African minister of Farrakhan to use our church. So after our regular church service, the nation would be in our church. So naturally, I gravitated towards the nation because it was taught to me as a child. And I joined when I got to Bennett College for Women in Greensboro, North Carolina. So I just pay homage, you know what I mean? I couldn't be sitting here without those that brought me.
I love it. And that's who you are. And you give yourself a better intro than I could. Because sometimes people mention things that folks really, that's not, I mean, that's part of some of the things you've accomplished, but you know in your heart who you really are. You know, not the fake, I'm a child of God. Hell, we know that. What God? But anyway, Brother Roland.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for having us on the show. I'm sorry we were a little late. My name is Brother Ro Davis. I'm the visionary and co-founder of the Life Movement Project 5000, which is a vision to create an economic engine using home ownership and small business development. And we've chosen to insulate that strategy with a political organizing strategy that we call Black Coffee Political Alliance. And so the governor came at the behest of our political alliance to hear more about the work that we're doing on 79th. And I'll defer the remainder of that conversation as we matriculate to
and so you brought the sister with you.
Right.
Y'all was scared to come in the studio with me by yourself. She got Kubla, Torre, you got Doc with you. Don't be scared of me.
No, we love you.
I mean, I ain't know they came in here with guns.
Right.
Big guns.
Right.
But go ahead, sister, and introduce yourself.
Thank you for having me. My name is Dr. Shantae. I am a doctor of pharmacy and also a doctor of naturopathic medicine. Born and raised in Chicago. So I've had many experiences, walks of life that just brought me back to the community. I was actually raised in Robert Taylor, and it's no longer here. So for me, there are a lot of neighborhoods in Chicago that looks about the same. So I figured I would come back so that people can see me. I could tell my story. And then people who look like me can say, oh, because when I was growing up, if I didn't see it on TV or I didn't believe that I could achieve it. So if I don't come back and at least share my story and what happened, then maybe someone I can inspire out there as well. However, I landed in the Bop Business Center, through a lot of mutual acquaintances. I was practicing downtown, and I still work with a colleague downtown in a office center, and we treat patients. It became political because I also serve as vice president of the American Naturopathic Association. And one of the battles is naturopaths, because we bill insurance. We're not as well known as some of the other physical medicine providers, like a physical therapist or a chiropractor. And so I wanted to, as elder millennial, I like to say, to bring more recognition to the field of nephropathy. And when I realized that the insurance plans that covered me didn't belong to the people that looked like me. So when they would want to come to me for services, it was either going to be an out-of-pocket expense for them, which they probably couldn't afford in some cases. So we would have to rub elbows with politicians, with the organization. And I was exposed to that from that. So I got inspired to become more political in my practice. I don't practice as much because it's very time consuming when you are in the world of politics, and it's new for me.
So we're going to talk about what that is, politics. Robert Taylor, what building?
4946.
Damn, I'm from 4848. You done just struck a nerve in a good way. I got a Robert Taylor girl. Did you go to DuSable?
I did not. I went
big mistake, but that's you from the Robert Taylor. But I'm glad that you were able to. I lived there all my life in 48, on 48th and State and DuSable and Overton, etc. From Mississippi, pretty much to the Robert Taylor home. So the foundation that we have coming from that place is very important. You mentioned, and I want you all to hear this really well, politics and politricks.
Absolutely.
Who gets what? And we talk politics without economics.
That's right.
Is symbol without any damn substance.
Absolutely.
But who is representing us, and why did you all decide to take a bold stand? And I don't even think it's bold. You could talk to whoever you want, but you brought in, and I said, look, this is going to be called the spook who sat by the door. So are you a beachhead? Or some people are calling Kanye a coon because he met with the man. But I had many pictures of a bunch of people been sitting with Trump. Some of the ones who call themselves our top civil rights leaders, I saw them skinning and grinning with Trump. I saw Michelle Obama giving George Bush a bigger hug than she gave me. Hold on. So let's be real with this. Hell, sitting with white people don't make you a traitor. What makes you a traitor is the fact that you sit with them on just your interests and not the interests of black people, poor people. Now, if you're in these back rooms like some of these cowards do, and you just try to get you a few pieces of chicken, then you should be ashamed of yourself.
Absolutely.
So what made you? You know, in Africa, you held your own. I heard you on May's show.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, that's why I say you got some juice, girl, because you're able to go in different camps. And see, all of us ain't on the same page. That's why I'm telling all of you all at the round table, if you're not there, you're going to be real suspect. Right. Because if you for real, stop making excuses, petty ones, that you don't want to get in a room with your family. Absolutely. We need strategies of coalition building, not for everybody to think you got it, because your little damn ego don't mean nothing to us, because we've been taught by the best.
I mean, not just because of the relationship I have with Ye and growing up with him and worked with him over 20 years ago. I just think it's just awful when black people come against black people. I have a real problem with that. And, you know, if you have an issue with someone, that's having an issue, but it's something about being real or keeping it real, or we feel like we need to on each other publicly.
Right.
That's a real problem for me. And in truth, for those that believe that there could be some problems with him mentally that he's admitted to recently, if that's the case, why would you even then go hard about how you feel about this brother, your brother? I was raised, you want for your brother and your sister what you have yourself, right? So if that is the mantra, then shame on anyone that comes against him negatively like that. You understand? And the truth of the matter is, if anyone was offered an invitation to go meet with the sitting president, I doubt any of us would say no.
Right.
Right? So we would all have a meeting before the meeting and come with a concise, conscientious agenda. Right? That's intelligent. So yeah, I mean, I'm ready for that conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Speak into the mic, Roland, too.
So I want to, you asked the question, then I'm going to let Dr. Murphy, because I think, yeah, Dr. Murphy, right.
I didn't know Doc was coming. I didn't know he was going to be on the show, but go ahead.
Yeah. But
because it was on you, not Dr. Murphy.
Right,
but you
right,
mean Dr.
right. But he jumped in there, right? No, Dr. Murphy is the visionary of Black Coffee Political Alliance. And so I thought it was appropriate that he came, and Dr. Shantae is the CEO of Black Coffee Political Alliance. So, but let me just say, just to speak to your question, why did we invite the governor? Well, first of all, Black Coffee, right? He's the governor. Period. He's the governor, and Black Coffee. Our vision, our if you will, our mantra. We have no permanent enemies, no permanent friends, only a permanent interest. Our interest is the Black community, and you were at the meeting, right. And I invited yourself, the New Black Leadership Coalition. As a first measure, because I didn't want to find myself in a backroom deal or in a conversation. We had an opportunity to just meet with him on our own, and he didn't want the media there because it was designed to be an intimate conversation. But I made sure that I invited the activists in my circle, especially the New Black Leadership Coalition, because I respect the individuals such as yourself and Brother Michael. But we invited him. He is the acting governor. The sitting governor. He's not acting governor. He is the governor.
We got a lot of acting activists.
Right.
And a lot of acting politicians.
Right.
But he's sitting. But there are some sitting and acting. But go ahead.
Right. So it wasn't designed to be a endorsement. We have to be willing to meet with any and everybody when it comes to the revitalization effort of our community. Right. We have a multi-billion-dollar vision for our community. And, when we talk about regentrification, we talk about the redevelopment, it's impossible to rebuild a community and not speak with people who are in power. The people that we're competing with, white folks and other people who have more capital and influence are using our politicians to take away our tax dollars and put them on their projects and not showing up to the fight because we don't like somebody. I don't need the governor to like me. I don't like the governor. But I do have the opportunity to get access to my tax dollars. Other than that, we're talking about taxation without representation.
That's right.
I don't need the governor to like me, and I don't give a damn that it was a political season or a campaign. That's what you do during a campaign. You go out and solicit votes. We know that they want something from us, but that's when we need to put on the table what we want from them.
Versus them going to churches.
That's right.
And lying to the people.
Right.
Or just making false promises, which is the same thing, waiting on a mystery God to deliver those
That's right.
things.
And speaking to the mystery, see what makes us different, because there were people who criticized that meeting and suggested that what's any different than the preachers that you criticize on your timeline and the deals. And so here's the distinct difference. We're not building a church. I'm not trying to create a bigger edifice. We've spelled our agenda out. We want to create a $5 billion economic engine utilizing real estate and home ownership. We have a vision to create employment for over 5 million Black people. We want to empower 500,000 businesses and organizations. So that's the measure of my conversation with 79th Street as the blueprint. So any conversation that we're having with the governor is about that reality, which has a trickle benefit, directly residual benefit for our community.
Have you met with the alderman?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And what was the what was the response to the vision?
Well, the aldermen, let me just say this. We haven't received a dime from anybody, towards the work that we're doing. We are doing this on our own dime. We didn't get a grant. Nobody granted us the ability to be here. The governor didn't pay us. He didn't write a check. Now I think that we granted ourselves, the right, to do the work that we're doing. Certainly, we don't want to be a prisoner to grant money. We're open, to whatever resources that are out there. And we met with the governor to talk about what those resources could and would be.
Let me ask you all this. Any one of you all, do you get sad? Are you in pain? Do you have a hard time sleeping at night when you drive around the Black community? When you see your people in this condition, are you trying to be fly? Trying to be accepted? Want to be at the galas? Or do you pain to see a suffering Black people here and elsewhere? Do it bother you? Because some people think creating jobs is enough, yet there's no love for our people. Do you really love Black people? Do you all love Black people? Do you really? See, the new Black leadership ain't no joke. That's why we ain't begging any of you all ever again to come into that room, ever. You don't show up, that's your fault. Because then we know what you working with. Just stay where you are, but stop acting as though you want to see Black people free. See, if you ain't talking farmland, you playing games. You ain't talking about buying farmland with whoever got some dough. But go ahead, somebody else had something to say.
It's interesting that you said, and you never introduced yourself. So because we're gonna let, but it was very interesting that you were saying. Absolutely, we love Black people. That's why we're here. But I taken an alternate route to get here, and I drove down Cermak. And primarily when you go west on Cermak, you're going into more of Hispanic communities, and I just drove by, and I did not see as many police cars on that ride as whenever I'm driving down 79th Street. And I'm like, wow, I didn't see that. I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. Why are we over policed? Well, we already know why. It's a rhetorical question. We know why we're not politically organized, because even I believe the Hispanic community to some extent are politically organized. I would like to see us do it. And it's instead of being
the victims of it
and criticizing one another for wanting to do that because we don't understand it. And given our history in this country, I kind of understand why we don't understand it. But I wouldn't necessarily knock the people that are trying. And one of the things I wanted to, he loves the slogan for Black Coffee, but the mission for Black Coffee Political Alliance is to engage our people into the electoral process. That's re-educating the traditional Black voter and engaging the millennial voter, the younger group, to get them involved. Getting them registered to vote isn't enough. We need them to actually come out, and not every 4 years for the presidential election, but for local elections. They need to understand the different levels of government and how it works. Because when they come out and say, oh, the president didn't do anything, we're like, well, it's really your alderman.
So this is pure Black coffee. You're not integrating the coffee with milk and sugar.
Black.
Because the blacker the coffee, the stronger.
That's exactly what Dr. Murphy
but
said.
this is a question that I have to pose to everybody. Yes. The Honorable Mosiah Marcus Garvey had a blueprint. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, a blueprint. Why do Black people act like they could reinvent the wheel and fix what's wrong with Black people when we saw giants produce and they were able to take and reform? It wasn't no Malcolm X without the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. No Muhammad Ali. No the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. None of them. a blueprint psychologically, sociologically, and economically, but yet spiritually. So why do we try to go around that with our own little programs and we take a look from here, look from there? Nothing wrong with that, but they barely give credit to those men. And they act like they got something new to deal with the enemy. How foolish can you be? The principles that we stand on, that's why I come out the gates talking about our ancestors and the shoulders. See, right. And then we try to act. That's why we get on these little pop-up little leaders. Hell, you gonna just pop up like you got some arms that big to box with Satan, and you don't even know the knowledge of self. Mm-hmm. The hell out of here. You can't lead us because you don't even know your real name.
Go ahead, Doc.
Thanks for that, brother. I just wanted you to continue. The spirit is so powerful. I'm Dr. Laverne Murphy, and I, along with Ro Davis, co-founded the New Life Movement Ministries 16 years ago.
So the people on Facebook Live can't see you, but the folks, I guess they can see. They can't see them, right? Well, I mean, from over there. Yeah, that's cool. Go ahead. All right.
Well, I hope they can hear me. I'm not much to look at anyway, so not seeing me is really no big deal. But I want to thank you, brother, for inviting us out tonight to have this very critically important conversation. And the pain that you talked about that is so prevalent, and we've lived with it so long until I think we've reached a point where we're insensitive to it. We're not insensitive to it. We're quite sensitive to the reality of the pain. But what I would like to say about that pain, I think is true for all of us here. That pain we're going to convert into inspiration. You know, nothing inspires like pain. Mm-hmm. Once you start hurting, then you start looking for a way not to hurt anymore. What we're doing with our ministries and our work, and I just want to just say this quickly, just for context, the New Life Movement Ministries is an umbrella, and everything we do is couched in the concept of a ministry. When I traveled in Africa and Middle Eastern countries, that was the first time I had heard things other than church described as a ministry. When I was in the northern part of Africa and visited Egypt, all of their government departments set up to address critical issues of the Egyptian people was defined as a ministry. If you was over the Defense Department, you were the Minister of Defense, not a secretary. You're the minister. If you were running the department concerned with the production and distribution of the food supply of the people, that was called a ministry of agriculture. And so you can go on and on and on, and every government function is formed as a ministry. When you call something a ministry, by implication, you're doing God's work. Right. And should treat it as such. And so we're not secretaries, we are ministers. And our church is to bring to the Black community, finally, a progressive spirituality. Let me speak a moment about that. You see, religion has got in the way of us understanding our spirituality. And so when we say a progressive spirituality, brother, what we're talking about is that every solution to every problem we suffer lives within us.
That's right.
The danger and problem with religion, it has taken every solution to our problems out of us, got us waiting on somebody else and something else to solve our problems. We sit around praying useless prayers because we don't even know what prayer is. We have been deceived. And so what we understand here is that the power to solve every problem we experience, brother, lives within us. A people, just think about it for a moment. Think about it for a moment.
And Doc, we've always, and it's good that you said that. And some people need to know when we talk about the power within, right? Our biggest challenge again, is unity.
I agree.
We got knowledge. We got information. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Not one damn thing. The problem is how do you solve this egotistical foolishness? How do you solve the narcissistic behavior? How do you solve the backbiting? How do you solve the jealousy and the envy? And see, and not understanding the enemy within. So we talk about religion means way of life. You know, we can get down to the etymological stuff. But at the end of the day, bro, what's missing is people don't trust each other. And so everybody got their little stuff over here. The coalition building that we've been trying to do, Roland, Sister Africa, no, it ain't got nothing to do with us and personality. But people don't show up because if they ain't in charge and they ain't the one running, they don't show up. They don't want to be disciplined enough to listen to their own brother. But as soon as the white man call a meeting, you Negroes run and can't wait to be skinning and grinning. They have no humility and self-respect. Everybody got a good show. We got Negroes on television. I ain't got nothing against DL. I ain't got nothing against Al Sharpton. I'm suspect of him, but I ain't got nothing against him. I'm just calling it like it is. We got too many slick people, man, and the people tired of that crap. Discipline, integrity is what's missing. You got two doctors here, brother. I mean, sound knowledge when it comes to housing and home buying. Sister Africa, please. I mean, not the queen of all trades. Damn the jackass. Why we even let people put that on as the jackass of all trades? We just repeat that stuff. But anyway, we got a few minutes left. And let's go back to Kanye West. Let's go back to y'all meeting. Because after 4 years with Governor Rauner, I know he says that Michael Madigan and the people down there have blocked him from the Democratic Party. So smart as we think we are, because we waiting on just policy and not pooling our resources.
Let me take just a few minutes before
we got to be real fast and quick, because I want everybody to get in this real quick.
The introduction, and when I mentioned the umbrella, New Life Movement Ministries, and all of the activities that we put together under it to form ministries. Now, you mentioned something earlier in your comments about agriculture. In our Southern chapter this year, from our previous summit, we asked this question, 3 questions. Why are Black people eating food that they don't grow? Why are we living in houses that we don't build or restore? And why do we continue to wear clothes branded by our natural enemy and have not educated our people to do those things for themselves, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, do for self.
Right.
When you look at it from an economic and political standpoint, and I see those things as the flip side of the same coin, we could literally, from an economic standpoint, eat, house, and clothe ourselves to economic liberation.
Absolutely.
When you look at the fact that the things we wear and the name on it, why we don't have your name on something we wear, or Sister Africa's name on something we wear? Why have we settled for emulating the very people who we should reject? And so, Project 5000 is a ministry. It is a ministry seeking to put 5,000 houses, and more than the houses, this project will employ some 75 to 100,000 people, and each house will produce a predictable profit. So now Let's follow this. If we can employ our people, then we can engage our people politically.
Mhm.
If we can employ our people, we can engage them politically.
So, Doc, I gotta stop you. What you saying are facts, but that word, the operative word, is if. If. See, the if is the thing that's tied into the unity piece. Because see, I'm part of, I grew up in the nation and we had the ministries. We started after the atonement piece, a lot of information, but it's the individuals because the program is there. The mind is there, Doc. Sister right there. I mean, naturopathic piece. I know Dr. High P. I know Dr. Paul Jones.
Right.
I know a bunch of them. But unfortunately, Roland got a wealth of information. Africa, Doc. But the problem is, again, we will not, as a people, collectively join in together and have those ministries. You all over here, we over here, they over there. But we don't all have to always be in the same room, but there's basic principles to get out of this mess. But go ahead, Sister Africa, and then the sister, because we only got a couple of minutes and rolling. You say something because you're critics. You need to say something.
Yeah, I
brought
want to say
Dr.
something
Murphy
here.
here, heavyweight. And I see Brother Kubla sitting in the studio. Y'all brought some show enough knowledgeable gangsters.
So I have to bring my mentor, Baba Kubla, who's given over 40 years with the American Jim Brown, who we saw in the interview with Kanye West.
Yeah, Jim didn't say nothing, but I guess sometimes silence is powerful.
Silence is an answer.
Jim's smart, but go ahead.
In response to your question, and to Doc, I was privileged to have a conversation just yesterday. Bob and I were out, and we pulled over and stopped and talked to some brothers in Hyde Park, and the brother was having this very same conversation with me. The questions that you asked, why don't we grow our own food and we wear our own clothes? He has a clothing line. Shout out to Jamie London Bridges. And the conversation we were having, he asked me the question that we're talking about. And I asked him a question. Why does the black man love the white man so much? He was, what? One more time. Why does the black man love the white man so much? He said, because he hates himself. I said, because he gives him nothing.
Teach.
Because he gives him absolutely nothing.
Teach.
All right. So to answer your question, right, and to go back into the whole piece of the governor, whoever's in office, why is that our premise? We have to always build us. Period. We have to always be working on us and building us.
Sister Africa, none of them was mad. To this very day, our brother, Barack Obama, has not reconciled at all the denouncement, the cowardly, honestly, by Hillary forcing him to denounce his own pastor and the honorable brother, Minister Farrakhan. Not one of them have he gone back to. And see, y'all want to dance around this, where it's okay to beat up on Kanye, but you give him a pass to disrespect as a so-called community organizer, and you diss strong black men like that. All right, you had to do it in front of your supervisor. But you could have, behind closed doors, gone to those brothers to show unity.
Right.
That hurts the movement. Because who you are beholden to. But we got a couple of minutes. Go ahead, Roland.
Yeah, I just want to close it because I just want to say to those people out there who think that, the moves that we're making politically, if the things that we were already doing was working, our communities would not look the way they are looking, and we would be getting more balance from our politics. Mm-hmm. So the very idea that we're going to continue to do the same thing and create change is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So expect the revolution in politics if we expect a change in our political organizing.
They call it insanity.
That's insanity.
You keep doing the same thing over and over. October the 27th, 1:30 to 4:30, the New Black Leadership Coalition round table leadership. So don't act as though you didn't hear this. Is this on your page?
Absolutely.
This on your page?
Absolutely.
So I know most Negroes know. Stop being scared. Thank you, Brother Minister Mike, for and all of the co-founders of the New Black Leadership. Thank you, Brother Earl Winfrey. And thank you, Brother Doc, for coming in. Thank you, sis. You're very talented. Robert Taylor in the crib. Love it. 4946.
Y'all always get
Probably know your mama. You're there. But anyway, thank you, Sister Apple. Thank you, Brother Roland. We got to do part 2 because it's too much to talk about in 1 hour.
Yes,
but we got work to do. Nothing but love for each and every one of y'all. Thank you all for tuning in and share this with somebody. They need to hear this. Love you, Brother Barack.